We're back on 11 of the last 20. Before we dive into the top 3 football defensive players on our countdown, we have another group of players who had fantastic careers in their own right, but just missed out on our list.
Scott Shelley's going to look for some senior leadership, and Hunter Lehman, you know he wants this one in a bad way.
And they're going to throw on first down. Going long, looking for Gibble, goes up, and the pass is picked off. Will Rivers with the interception.
Strain Garrity, one of the top defensive players in Section 2 for sure. Top tackler with 73 tackles coming into the game. Just an outstanding athlete for guard spot.
Dalton Kern, the middle linebacker, on the sack. That is his second of the season. Cole Haley with the interception. His second of the season. Flings it out to the right. It is up and it's picked off. Coming down with the interception is Tyler Byler. Interception number 4 on the season for Byler.
Number 3, Manheim Central's Dakota Roy, Barron's all-time leader in sacks, Under Armour All-American, future Penn State Nittany Lion.
Well, the guy that's been talked about all year long is their tight end and outside linebacker now with their switch to the 3-4. That is Dakota Royer. 56 receptions last year for more than 1,000 yards and 5 touchdowns, plus the impact he makes on defense. 11 sacks. This guy is just all over the field, and he's around the ball, and more importantly for the pass rush, he is in the face of the quarterback.
Dakota Royer, beast,
Sackmaster.
unstoppable off the edge.
Carty on the keeper, and he is wrapped up and taken down by Dakota Royer, the defensive end.
He just had a natural ability to rush the quarterback. I think that, when he was in grade school, Dad was teaching him, right in the backyard, how to rush the quarterback, how to work his hands, move his feet through the offensive blocker.
And once again, Gibbons taking another shot.
Going to be a sore young man tomorrow. Get him in the ice bath. Oh, that's Royer. Oh.
Phenomenal player. Started out as kind of a linebacker type early in his career, and by the time he was a junior, senior, he was on the edge, D-end, blitzing, blowing stuff up, causing all kinds of havoc off the edge. Nobody could stop him.
I don't know why they're running that to Royer's side. Too big and he's too strong.
That's where he was most successful. I mean, he had 32.5 sacks.
Royer had to be. He had him lined up. What's this? Whoops.
In his career, I think he averaged 10 or 11.5 a year. He's just a tremendous pass rusher. He was the first one to play in the Under Armour game, and he was a defensive end there. Played well in the game. I really enjoyed the experience.
Going to Penn State, Division I football player, size and speed. I remember seeing a video of him jumping out of a pool. Up and to the side. The kid said, "You got to see this one, Coach." That just shows how much of an athlete he was. And very strong, very talented. Like to try to take your head off.
Drilled as he goes downfield.
Played the game with a real attitude and great defensive football player.
He was a great player, but I don't think we ever had as good a pass rusher as he was.
Ball is loose.
Fumble the ball.
And the Barons have it. Dakota Royer comes up with the loose ball.
Number 2, Manheim Central's Marcus Zimmerman, future 3-year starter, All-State PSAC at Bloomsburg University.
Big, strong, athletic.
Marcus Zimmerman was a man-child.
He was tenacious on offense, on defense.
When we think about kids who make a team adapt because of personnel they have, unbelievably tough kid.
Ramagnoli is going to be tracked down. Marcus Zimmerman coming down the line to get him at the 30 and drop him for a yard loss.
Personally thinking he's the top candidate because of all the things that he did.
That's a Marcus play. There's no question in my mind he's the best lineman in Section 2, one of the best in the league.
He started for us as a sophomore on offense, started as a junior on offense and defense, and we kind of gave him a little bit more breaks on defense. As a senior, he was a two-way starter, never came off the field and totally dominated games.
Look who it is, Marcus Zimmerman again.
From the tackle position, that's hard to do. You could be a defensive back and you can make a lot of plays, and everybody can see it. They can ooh and ah over them. But when you can do it from a defensive tackle position where you're getting doubled and triple teamed and still make the plays he did, because he still recorded 50 solo tackles a year and 50 or more assisted tackles a year. And I think his senior year he had 6 sacks. For a defensive tackle, that's really good.
Manheim Central really plugging things up.
Marcus definitely brought that wrestling mentality to the defensive side of the football.
Zeb doesn't want to be in there, I guarantee you. He's running out of there, and I don't blame him. Now Marcus is going for double underhooks, and he's got him.
The defensive line in general, he was one that, I remember our guys trying to block him, and it was tough.
Boy, the men on Central defense really got good penetration, dropping Panabecker back at the 34, so he lost a yard.
The Barons beat you up front in the trenches year after year, O-line, D-line, and I'll always remember Marcus Zimmerman as a kid who dominated along both lines for Central.
Draw play, and that goes nowhere.
Gee, I wonder who's on the bottom of the pile. Duh.
Marcus, he's one of my favorites. We're not supposed to have favorites, as coaches, but, let's be honest, we all love the kid who just will run through a brick wall for you, and Marcus was that guy.
Number 1, Cocalico's Noah Palm, 2-time LL League Player of the Year, 2019 5A State Player of the Year.
Noah Palm, he's back, obviously on our quarterback list.
Here comes a blitz. And it is going to be Noah Palm getting it.
Noah Palm. He is the GOAT at Cocalico on offense, the greatest of all time, and I look at him as being the GOAT on defense.
On the slant, it's tipped and picked off. Noah Palm with the interception.
When you mention that name, I think it just brings back all the memories of him playing.
The Cocalico Eagles are on their way back to the District 3 Finals. Noah's a playmaker in every aspect.
A lot of people think of the offensive side first, but I think if you ask Noah, he was defensive side first.
Absolutely one of the best defensive kids that I've covered in all these years. I'll always remember Noah for lowering his shoulder and hitting you. I can still hear his tackles up in the press box. On a Friday night.
To have a safety as one of your leading tacklers, which he was pretty much every year, is not always a good thing, because that means they're getting to your last level of defense. But with Noah, it was often he was making tackles in the backfield at the line of scrimmage. As a safety, you sometimes worry that then are you going to get beat deep, but he just had a nose for the football, a sense for what was going on. I think one play that sums him up is what he did against LS.
Nolt stands in the pocket, going long,
where he intercepted the ball.
Interception.
Tremendous play, and then just refused to go down. Stiff arms, spin moves.
Palm still on his feet.
Just that one play kind of encapsulated everything that is Noah Palm and what he meant to our team and our program for 4 years.
Are you kidding me? Unbelievable.
He's just the greatest player I've seen dominate in high school.
Super talented, 4-time All-Star at safety. Obviously, he got a ton of pub for his quarterback play, but he was just as good, if not better, at safety. He'll go to New Hampshire and play safety there. Obviously a special talent, one of the best to ever come through Cocalico and come through this league.
So there you have it, Cocalico's Noah Palm, one of the best football defensive players in our coverage area and number 1 on our list. Thanks so much for joining us today on 11 to Last 20. I'm Chad Landers. Come back next time as we dive deep into a new sport and start the countdown once again to see who's number 1.